Hello, it's me, Angie. I'm here in my studio in the super freezing Minnesota, and I am going to do what I do a lot of days, and that is make a clay monster. Except for I normally don't do it on the internet for you to watch me, but that's what I'm gonna do today. So, without further ado, here we go. One thing that's really fun to do with polymer clay is use other elements like dollhouse miniature things or like charms and little trinkets that you can find at like flea markets or stores like that. So here are just a few of the many things that I have. I'll put a link in my little description to, I have two friends, they're cousins actually, and they supply me with a lot of these little gifts for my monsters, so that's really fun. And so yeah, check out their stuff too. And I was kind of looking through some of these and I thought I would pick this cute little charm here that's like a little tiny mailbox that opens up. I thought I will make a little monster that is holding this and has a little love note in the mailbox. Doesn't that sound fun? I just had to show you these little scissors because they actually cut. Well, I don't know if they cut, but they actually like open and close. Haley gave me these for my birthday or something one time. And I haven't been able to use them yet because I love them so much I don't want to sell them with a monster. But one day. Okay. Alright, so you want a wire cutters, or at least that's what I want. I'm gonna open this and I'm gonna just snip this little charm part off. So that's all gone. Because I want this to just be there for the monster to hold. So here is this cute little mailbox that's totally perfect for monster to hold. So I like to have my color palette picked out before I start, and some white and black for the eyes and mouth. And then, I don't know if you noticed, but that blue was in the package unwrapped and not in a baggie like the other ones, so it's a little dry. So that's why I'm running it through this pasta machine for a million years and adding some little drops of clay softener that Sculpey makes. Yeah, so that took me like a little bit of extra time. So that's why it's important to keep your clay in baggies so that you don't always have to do that. So I'm rolling the body, trying to be mindful of the size of the mailbox. Those are two little equal sized balls for the eye stalks. And then I pulled out that little acrylic plate because the silicone mat is textured and I didn't want the texture to show up on the tentacles. So that's why I was rolling it out on that plate. So now I'm gonna need some wire for these tentacles, so I'm cutting that up, and some wire for the eye stalks. And I'm using a ball tool to make a socket. Here I'm gonna roll some little eyeballs that fit in the eye sockets and some bright green clay for the irises. Pop those on there. I like to press the color of the eyes down on my thumb and check the size before I press them onto the eye because sometimes they're too big or too small. And then I'm using this, I think that's Kato poly clay. It's like a liquid clay kind of, or a paste. It's kind of like a clay glue almost that hardens when you bake it. So I was using that in there along with the wire. And then I curled up that first tentacle because that's the one where I'm gonna put the mailbox. And I'm dipping each wire into the paste a little bit to get the tentacle to attach really strongly. And now I'm going to use that paste to attach the little mailbox charm, and I'm gonna put some on the bottom and kind of fill in that area so that when it bakes, that hardens all around and holds it really well. So I used the ball tool to make a little socket for the mouth, and then curved up the corners with a knitting needle that I like to use a lot. And here I'm cutting two tiny little teeth to make some buck teeth. And again, I'm using the paste to make sure that those teeth stay in there after it's baked. Putting some lips over the edge and smoothing the edges of the lips. And now I'm gonna make a whole bunch of little polka dots. These aren't quite little enough, so I'm gonna make some of them littler. And then just start pressing them on. Using the tool to smooth them down a little bit so they're really attached and not like sticking out a whole bunch. Make some little tiny ones. I like to do like large, medium, and small sized polka dots. Put some on the back of the eye stalks. Gonna just make sure the mailbox opens and closes. Add a little nostril. And I found this little cute yellow scrap of paper with white polka dots, and I'm gonna roll it up into a tight little circle. I ended up having to roll it even tighter than that, but that was fine. I just kind of did some troubleshooting once I got the piece baked, so I could have just used scissors, but I went ahead and used my X-Acto knife. I take a marker pen and just make a little "I love you" note that's gonna go in the mailbox. And now I'm looking for that marker. Fill in that heart with pink. The other side shows through, so I decided it'd be cute to put a little outline. It's flipping around there like a little froggy. Remember those flippy frogs from Perkins Well? Maybe you have to be as old as me to remember that. I ended up having to trim it down a little bit more also. And so that could be something you do in the start if you found a little charm or something that you could put a note inside to measure it first, but it worked out. So I'm glazing with some golden matte glaze. I really like that brand, and their acrylic varnish is a really good glaze. So I just coated it everywhere. Didn't quite fit. This is where I'm like, okay, I gotta roll it up tighter, and so I rolled it up very tight. And here we go. And here's the finished little monster guy. Isn't he so wonderful? Can open up the mailbox, slide the piece of paper out, and then unroll it. Flips around like a little frog again. I love you. Then you roll it up really super skinny. Once you do it a couple times, the paper just kind of stays like that. Put it back in. There's your little I love you monster.